and welcome back to the Rollers and the Rockers podcast for 2024. My name is Hayley Miller and I'm joined by just my co-host. Apparently someone thinks you're the boss here, but I don't agree. Emma O'Driscoll, we're back, baby.
We're back, baby, and she's got the shirt on.
I saw it hanging up this morning and I was like, you know what? I'm going to put the kit on.
No,
ready.
You know what?
It's the only prep I've done for this podcast is wearing this shirt.
The fact that you had the shirt hanging up is concerning.
Oh.
No, it's
yeah,
brilliant.
I don't know. Yeah, it's with my Freo things.
I love it. That's the first thing I wanted to go with is we brought the shirt back. But to the fans out there, feel free to make a new one for 2024.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we want.
Elephant in the room.
Yeah, you got to say it.
She's not here. The elephant is no longer in the room.
Elephant's not
Does
here.
she know that she's been kicked off?
Well, I removed her from the group chat.
Oh, no. So we are talking about Mim.
Mim Strong, yes. Previous
yes.
producer, ex-producer.
Ex-producer. I might introduce our guest first and then we'll talk about,
But
the
can we just say,
changes.
just speaking on producer though?
Yes.
Can we quickly introduce our actual...
Okay,
oh, yeah,
yeah.
do you go?
I literally just said that. But fine. Okay, we'll go with what the boss, apparently the boss wants to introduce our new producer. Sorry, Mim, you're out. You've been kicked out of the group chat. I didn't actually check that. Did we make a new one or you just deleted her?
Well, currently I'm having a conversation with myself in there for the last 3 days.
That is
because
also
no
true.
one wants to reply.
Anyway, Aish Braz has joined the team as the producer. Welcome, Braz.
Thanks for having me, guys. Don't really know what I'm doing back here, but I'm
You
excited.
were worried about
I've got
having
some buttons.
You didn't want to have a microphone, but you've got one and you've used it. Well
Yeah,
done.
watch this face.
I'm not sure about her not having a camera though.
Oh, there's a camera.
Oh,
I'm staring
yes!
right at it.
There's one right there.
We've stepped up in the world.
We absolutely have. All right, now that we've gotten over that hurdle, let's introduce our guest. So for our first guest for this season, we couldn't go past one of our debutantes from the weekend, racking up 24 disposals, 14 tackles, 2 goals, one that I did beautifully kick to you. So we'll just pump myself up there. No, Aish McCarthy, Smash Mac.
Yeah!
Welcome. Our round one podcast debut.
Yeah, thanks. It's a huge honour to get to get the call up here. Bit nervous. Don't want to get thrown under the bus here. Probably get stitched up a bit, but yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Okay. Have
No,
you ever
not
listened?
at all.
I actually haven't listened, no, but I'll start to now.
The wrong answer.
I do now. It's okay.
No, that's great, Smash. You obviously had an absolute ripper of a game on the weekend, so I'm expecting a ripper of a debut on the podcast today. You probably weren't used to that sort of intro there. There was a bit of bickering. It usually goes like that for at least 40 minutes. So feel free to join in and actually be the mediator between Hayley and I for this. That'd be nice. But otherwise, we were speaking off air when Hayley was late, actually.
I was just waiting for that. I was
We
like,
had
when
a few
is it going to come up?
We had actually 4 minutes there, maybe 4.5 minutes there where we were actually waiting for H to rock up, where we were just chatting about your day. So I suppose you can feel Hayley, I guess.
Fill me in on your day. I missed that. So sorry. I had to get my coffee on the way. Anyway, Aish, how was your day?
Yeah, good. Nothing too exciting. Like on our train days, like to have a bit of a chill morning. So did a bit of recovery, got another massage.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, feeling a bit sore after the weekend. So trying to just get prepped for the
would
weekend
be.
ahead. Yeah.
Sore shoulders too. Hope you got upper traps rubbed.
Carrying the team on your back.
No, it was
God.
a great team effort. So yeah, it was really exciting to get the win in round one, but bigger challenges ahead. So yeah, it's a good start though.
Great. No, I'm glad you had a good massage because we do need you this weekend to have the exact same stats. That'd be awesome.
That's your lowest.
Yeah.
You to build
Build
from
up.
that. You've started quite high.
But anyways, we should probably move on.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about the game. Obviously, we touched on Aish Mac's incredible stats. Miller, loved your post on Insta as well about Team of the Week. So massive congrats to Braz, Anya and Mim for getting in Team of the Week. H did have to put a screenshot of Aish Mac smack bang in the middle to
Just covering
basically
all of
say...
it is perfect because ours weren't in the middle, so then I could just put it over everyone.
In the middle because Aish Mac, you should have bloody been in it. You were incredible on the weekend. So let's touch on the amazing team performance, as you mentioned. Obviously coming from another club as well, Aish, how did you feel on the weekend with us vibing so well?
Yeah, no, it was actually a really like brilliant team performance, and I feel like we speak about it a lot, but like everyone had their moments, and that was like what was really exciting, I think. And I suppose like the start was a bit shaky, just being against the wind, and I felt like the ball was probably coming in hot into the defenders, but like you were honestly so immense, and just keeping them out, which is so good. And then I think when we started to click then in that second quarter, like there was no stopping us, which was really nice. And I feel like everyone stood up in different times of the game. Yeah, definitely.
So good.
Were you nervous for your first game in purple?
Yeah, so nervous.
So yeah, breakfast.
Yeah.
Looked like you want to throw up.
Yeah. Every time I need to try eat before a game, I just feel a bit sick. But I think it was more just the build up to round one, especially.
100%.
And just the unknown. Like I feel like we put in so much hard work over the last few months, but you just never know until like the actual day. But then that's I think what was the most pleasing thing is that we actually showed what we've kind of put in, and got the outcome from it too. Which was great, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So obviously you were debuting Gabby Newton's first time in purple, Aish Braz first time in purple, and then Tanisha Kikuak first time in any team.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, how do we think she went?
Well, I just think it was so special to have like 4 Debbies out there, obviously knowing that you guys had played at other clubs, but I just think it just shows the confidence Lisa has in our group, regardless of who's in the team or not. And I think that the fact that you guys have come in and gelled so well is a testament to your guys' character, but also, I suppose, to the environment that we've created here at Freo. Like, I hope it feels welcoming. Braz, she can speak on behalf. Don't say it's not, because we're going to cut it out.
But no, definitely. And even on T as well, like,
Yeah.
I feel like she's such a young girl, and even like the practice game against Collingwood, she just
amazing.
no fear, took the game on, and I feel, the other practice match as well, and she had a bit of an interrupted couple of weeks before that, so I think as a young girl just to come in and show that kind of sort of confidence is really good.
I thought there was a bunch of times where the ball was like rolling away. She ran, picked it up, she had someone on her back, and then just like turned around like there was no one there. There was like,
Literally.
she was like not stressed or like not panicked. It didn't.
She's very casual.
Just then bang and like kicked the ball like down the line wherever we needed to go. I was like, oh, you look like you've been playing
For years.
years in this. Like, because sometimes, that jump to AFLW is huge in terms of like the speed, the intensity, and everything like that. But she just looked at home out there, which was amazing.
Yeah, no, it was so good. And I guess speaking of players playing in their first year, it was Mim's 50th game on the weekend, and I just had to make a mention to Mim about her first year. She got thrown in the deep end. Fremantle did not have another ruck, and Mim literally went in round 1 of 2020 just after she'd been drafted. The videos of her,
She looks like a little baby.
as a little baby coming in, and she absolutely dominated. And how many games has she missed since then? None. Like, what the hell? I'm putting that mind blown emoji up. Like, Mim, you are amazing. Like, let's just talk about this girl, the elephant.
Let's talk about the element while she's not in the room. No, she was fantastic. And look, if she was in the room, she'd just be like, no worries, guys. It was fine.
Yeah,
It's all
she'd
good.
brush it
yeah,
off.
Like, you'd be like, how was the game? Yeah, it was good. No, it was pretty good.
Gave us nothing.
Yeah, she's just a phenomenal athlete, I think, and the way she goes about it every single week. There's no week that she ever plays poorly.
Yep.
And look, like as a midfielder, when you're getting first hands, she did the. This is
The celebration.
This was the celebration we were doing. When you're getting first hands on the footy, but then when she goes back and takes intercept marks and her running around the ground, it's fantastic. It's those things that often people don't see or value as much from a stat line, although she broke the record for the most amount of
She's
hit-outs
unreal
on the weekend, so she is getting the recognition, but yes, often she doesn't get the recognition for what she does, but she's phenomenal.
Love it. And I suppose her influence in the midfield, how did you find working with Mim across pre-season and then the game on the weekend, Ash?
Yeah, I think even like coming in from a different club, like she is so underrated. Like obviously always had an influence on Freo AFLW team, but I probably didn't recognise her as much, and that's probably because she's not getting that external recognition really, but I really see how valued she is within these four walls, and just the hard work. She's always asking questions, always wanting to get better, and just a competitor. She becomes like a fourth mid as well, like around the stoppages, ground ball gets, everything. Yeah, she's phenomenal, and as you said, like just so laid back about it as well. Like nothing phases her, and yeah, she had a ripper, but that won't change anything about how she prepares for this week. And yeah, no matter who she comes up against, she never fears them, which is really good.
Love it.
Absolutely.
She's actually the best.
Shall we go into some things like, obviously that was the game itself, but getting to the game, I don't know, did you notice that we were a little bit late? Well, I know you were stressed. Were you stressed?
Oh, I just was like, we've been sitting on Punt Road for like 20 minutes and I put it in Google Maps and I was like,
we're not moving.
We're still like 30 something minutes away. But
so there was a truck they got. Did you realise?
Oh, it got stuck.
Yes.
Is it?
Control what you can control, and all I could control was putting Brat on in my earphones.
That surprises me. I thought you'd be someone that would be checking the time 24/7.
I probably used to be, yeah. Just with like being probably a bit more anxious around game day and my prep, and I didn't actually have my ankle strapped at that point either. So I think previously probably would have been, but I think now I feel like I think about the game so much that I actually don't want to think about it and I switch off, and that's why I think sitting there and having my headphones in or having a chat to Pewee, who was next to me, like just takes my mind off the game, and I honestly could roll off the bus and just play. I don't want to do 45 warm-ups and worry about how I'm kicking the ball prior to the game. I just want to bloody play.
Yeah, I'm same as you. I could roll off and not warm up. Actually, that wouldn't go well for me.
No.
But I wish I could do that, because the warm-up is one of the worst parts of sport, probably, in general.
When you can't breathe.
How good's the worst part of sport?
I was like, I'm sure it's the same in any sport. Any other sports people listening, let us know that it's the same for you.
But speaking on the warm-up, so prior to actually warming up officially on ground, you get to come out onto the ground and have a feel for, you know, how it is, the conditions, get your dogs out if you want, and have a walk around, like do what you want. Ash Mack is out there in her bloody polo. How embarrassing. I can say that because I knew you'd laugh, but I've gone out and I'm like, everyone's got their warm-up tops on. Like, you see their last names on the back. Like, so profesh. Ash Mack's in her full boots with her bloody polo. I'm like, this is brilliant.
Well, yeah. I forgot about, like, the fact that we were even making our, like, debuts and stuff, and there was going to be presentations. So I was in a bit of a rush, had half the kit on to warm up, had the polo on, then needed to get a bit of touch in. Was walking out and everyone was like, Ash, you're in your polo. I was like, I'm too far gone now. Just
hang on, we had to walk through the crowd on the bitumen to get onto the
It was that
ground.
funny. But you know what? After that performance, I say, wear the polo for the whole thing, mate.
What's worse is afterwards walking over to the shower, I was just in my sports bra walking through the crowd. I didn't really realise you had to walk outside.
No, it's brilliant.
So yeah. That wasn't great.
So keep the polo, mate, because you absolutely smashed it. No, it was so good. I had to bring that up there.
Shall we go through the goal celebration?
Yes,
Yeah,
great
very
idea.
good.
Because I don't even know, they kind of came about, I feel like the first one was because it was Mim's 50th, and I don't even know where it came from, but we decided that we were going to do, you know, credit to Mim with the ruck taps. Looks a little bit
Like
single
Queen
lady
or single lady?
Single ladies Queen wave.
Yeah.
But then it kind of went from there, and we had a few good ones.
I think we just keep that going all year. Like, let's go. The next one needs to be a golden fist.
Oh, yeah.
Just like straight up though, not like Cobra. Like, like Breakfast Club sort of vibe.
I'm like, that's just Breakfast Club.
But yeah, no, I thought this one was brilliant, and I actually think when Anya did it.
Yeah.
Everyone did it, I feel like.
She did it the first time, but no one saw it.
But I also think that everyone then like followed on from that, and you could see like even defenders and everyone on the interchange, we were all doing it too. Like, I'm just like, talk about connection. Who cares about the ball movement?
I didn't see her do it the first time. I
Celebrations.
feel like she did it on her own, maybe the first time. And then later in the game, I was like, well, I haven't seen her do it yet. So we're doing it. And then I did it with her. And then
stunning.
and then I was looking at everyone. I was like, come on, girls, let's go. We're
was
all
so
doing
good.
it. And then we all, there was a bunch of us doing it. It was
And
great.
the commentators picked up on it, which was awesome.
Yeah. So you had to do it for a little while for them to really, pick up on it.
Yeah.
And then Anya also did the...
Oh,
I'm a bit worried about how she thinks
Hold
she
the
should hold a
baby.
baby. It was an interesting rock of the baby, but we won't...
Oh, I've gone red. Anyways, no, I'm just so glad you thought the same thing as me.
Yeah, it was...
Anyways,
how would you do it?
No, I think
go the
Probably
full-
the
yeah.
2 hands.
Yeah, the 2 hands proper.
No, anyways, we're not dissing that because it was actually a beautiful.
beautiful.
And then the T, obviously, for Turbo. And
Not Ty. The commentators thought it was for Ty. That's
Baby
quite funny.
Ty coming.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Breaking news.
Now that she's heard that, she's probably like, why did I do that? Baby Ty coming December 2024 after we win the flag.
Yeah. Sorry, Don. You're not allowed to have a baby now.
No,
Sorry.
I can't. But no, that was beautiful. So I'm glad, obviously, we brought up Turbo and Luca and the vision of Turbo when she found out, obviously, that Anya
Yeah.
did that celebration for her. She's actually crying.
Full on
On the
crying.
couch.
Full on bawling her eyes out.
Yeah,
So
it was
funny.
beautiful. And then just for everyone else as well, the fin
Yes.
on Meg Kaufman's head is because we actually call her the Megalodon.
Well, it's from the movie The Meg.
Yep.
Which is obviously where that came
a
from.
megalodon shark.
And then, Ep started calling it megalodon. And then it's kind of evolved from there. And then, Eastie and I ran for 50 metres.
That's actually brilliant.
I wish that was on some footage because we're running with it like that. And she just does this little
Little one,
Yeah.
quick one.
Yeah.
That is actually awesome. Trying to explain that to her parents in the preseason game was another story. But I think we just keep these going. Everyone needs to have their own celebration, I think. And then surely we bring in the songs. You know how the boys, they play a song after they kick a
Yeah.
goal? Let's bring that in. Come on, W.
Well, I think that's on the clubs though.
Oh, okay, well, come on, Kelly Black.
I was like, we need to talk to the club about that because that would be our home game doing it for us.
Absolutely. But anyways, no, we're going to move on to, should we quickly touch on the team song? Ash, did you know the team song?
I know the main sentence.
Okay, so you didn't know the start when we go, we're the Rollers and the Rockers?
I do. I don't know. I know bits, but not to sing by myself.
So she's like, I'm not singing about that.
Yeah.
Don't.
No, because I don't think Braz knew
Braz
it either.
definitely doesn't know it.
She was doing the can and everything though.
Oh, if you wasn't singing it, I'd
Yeah,
do something.
just
That was
dance.
a bit awkward,
Would you just move your mouth, mate?
No,
I
just
moved your
kicked my
legs.
When we sang it again in the change rooms, you did the same thing, and then you're like, when it was time for the main part, and you're like, yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, she knows.
I
And
can't
I
remember.
started jumping. Yeah.
Oh, the Freo. When we get to the Freo running
No,
go, I was
that's
like, which part
actually
is it? Which
hilarious.
part's the main part? I like all of it.
No, well, we're going to have to send the lyrics into the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Anyways, moving
Too
on.
good. Moving on.
H.
Do you know, I was just, because now it's come, look, you've mentioned here something about some
haven't-
other podcast that you do. I know you didn't write
It's done
this,
now.
but
It's done now.
I've just noticed that you have gotten better at following the script and kind of prompting, which is quite nice of me. I might just sit back this season and let you do all the work.
Don't know. If anyone saw Hayley Miller's story as well, it's a picture of me on Hayley's back. She's giving me a piggyback, but she's going, can't wait to carry the team.
Can't wait to shoulder the load in the podcast again.
Because she has been doing that for the last 3 years.
And then I decided to show up today late. And it's
great. You're becoming me.
Having not read this at all. I'm so prepared for today.
You are.
But
no,
I'm taking a different approach this season.
I did go on another podcast called the Better Than Back podcast, just with Jordan Clark, which was great for promoting W. Come on.
Great for promoting.
And I have gotten better at following a script because he is useless. So now I know how you feel dealing with me.
Thank you.
So I have got some empathy towards you there. But it's all right because I'm pulling this cord. Sorry, Brett.
I did think when we had this meeting about getting back into the podcast, I was like, all right, she's taken on this role, my traditional role.
No, I'm
in
not.
her other podcast. So I was like, great, she's going to do it for mine.
No,
so
and then I've just said, can you keep going?
No, I can't possibly do that.
Go.
I can't possibly. I don't even know what
Okay,
I'm doing
well, I'll
this.
do this bit and you do the next part. Okay, so anyways, what I brought from my other podcast, and I learned so much from there, is this segment called Anchors in Action.
Hey, put on your Superman coats, boy. It's warping time. Let's go.
All right, so first segment of the podcast today is from the Better Down Back podcast, as much to Hayley's discussed. But this is a really cool segment. It is where we highlight the unsung heroes around the club. It can be a player or staff member, and I already have prompted you guys, so would love to hear from you first, Ash Mack.
Yeah, I'm going to give a shout out to Ash Renshaw.
Yep.
So she's our football operations manager, and she's just amazing. Like,
Love her.
So organised, like all the work that she does. She's here 12-hour days mostly, trying to get everything done before we come in, and then obviously works while we're training too. And yeah, just even that round one being an away trip and everything was just so smooth sailing.
Yep.
So yeah, she's my shout out.
My shout out goes to Declan.
Yeah,
he
love.
is our head trainer this season,
Lovely.
new to the role. A few weeks ago, he did this presentation on how game day was going to work. My favourite thing was how excited he was about
was
these new
the best
bags
thing.
that the water bottles would come in, and then he was like, I've got this little bum bag, this little pouch, and that's going to have, I don't know, your pickle juice and all this, but he's got the bags there, like showing us
it was
the bags.
the best thing ever.
It was a great presentation.
It was great. He was even saying how each individual will have like a different trainer that they can go and touch base with. Like,
He even,
what?
do you know, he makes me my own Gatorade brew because I don't like how it to be
No.
too sweet. So then he was like, no. He's like, all right, I'm going to have. Of
course you're giving him a shout out.
Do you know who goes to me? He goes, just check. He comes to me every game. He's like, just check the brew, like as in my drink bottle to make sure it's fine. And I'm like, thank you.
High maintenance lady. What the
I just
hell?
thought I'm going to actually get one of these buttons. It's going to have like a princess noise. So whenever Hayley brings up her princess, there will now be a.
That
noise.
is the most princess. And also talk about Ash Renshaw's job. You're making it hard.
It's not. I'm not making Renshaw's job harder.
And Declan.
Declan's okay. He
What's
was
the opposite of unsung hero?
He's totally fine with it. I'm sure of it. I mean, he's
Don't know why I'm
frothing
holding
it.
this.
He's absolutely frothing it.
No,
I
it's
don't
great.
want my saliva to go sticky. It's too like sweet and horrible. Anyway,
Ash, surely you're dying at this like me.
Yeah, it's a bit
She
much.
doesn't want to offend you. I don't care about offending you.
I just do nice.
No,
She's
it's
not
actually
gonna,
that
she's
good.
not going to offend me.
No, well, anyways, my unsung hero is Lauren Stammers. She is a development coach with us here, and she actually travelled to Geelong with our non-playing players while we were in Melbourne for them to do their scrimmage match. So she had to get up bright and early in Melbourne and travel down there to watch them and support them, which was amazing. But she's just incredible. She's out doing touch with us most training sessions. I feel like she is quite quiet, but I feel like her knowledge of football is just amazing, second to none, and she's someone that you can have a really great one-on-one with and learn from. So absolutely love Stammers, and she is such a softie, which I love even more. For context, we wrote each staff member a little message on our team photo and we framed it for them. Shout out to Liana who organised that. She's our player development manager. But when we each got a staff member, we wrote a message and I got Stammers. So I was absolutely stoked with that. And when I gave it to her, she started crying. And it was just the best thing. And H, you're really close with Loz. So
Nah, I have so many stories of when that girl is like overly emotional. And I am the same. Like I'm overly emotional too. But I remember when Roger Federer won one of the Wimbledon titles. I have a photo of her. She's like, I'm not talking like tears in your eye, like full on crying. And
No,
I'm like,
I
are you
can't.
okay? Are
I
you all right?
can't.
And apparently when we went into the meeting where the Debbies were announced and then like Turbo's
the baby.
that she'd had her baby, Ash went and like told her and she was crying with all of that news. Like, so she got told about Turbo and she was already like crying and then she's like, oh, and these three are debuting. She was like, oh my God, I can't deal. Anyway, so she's very emotional. She just feels.
No, it's great. It's the best
She feels
thing ever.
deeply, that girl.
I love that.
Hilarious.
No, so a little bit about Stammers. That's incredible. But we want to know a little bit more about Ash Mack here. So we're going into the Ash Mack segment. Also, how do you pronounce your first name?
Ashling.
Ashling.
No, great, because it's like I feel like that heaps of people call you
Aisling
Aisling.
or Aish or...
It is just
yeah.
Ashling.
Yeah. So it's like Ashley, but Ling instead of Lee.
Yep.
Ashling.
It means
I just-
dream.
Oh.
Fun fact.
Thank you.
How's the?
But we will talk about you here, and Hayley has practiced how to say your county name, so she's going to
I was
kick
just
us
going to
off.
ask. So where are you from?
No, you have to say it.
Yeah.
I've already forgotten. Care. It's like Care Bear. I've got Care Bear in my head. She's from Care, County Tipperary in Ireland.
Yes. Perfect. Yeah, so it's a small little town, kind of tourist town on the river in Ireland, Cahir, and then that's in like a broader county, which is Tipperary. So yeah, that's where I grew up.
Gorgeous.
My mum, dad, and my sister and me.
Oh, beautiful.
Roisin,
What are
who's
their
younger.
names? I love the names.
So mum is Margaret or Mags. She's a big footy fan. Watch nearly every game of the weekend.
Which is why I should have called her, because she probably
Yeah.
was awake.
Then my dad's Carl. And my sister's Roisin, which is
Roisin.
another Irish name. It
Yeah.
means rose.
There you
Little
go.
rose or something like that. Yeah.
Roisin, Mags, and Carl.
They're coming over October as well. So
That was so good because your mum was here.
yeah,
Yes.
so my mum, dad, sister were all in
Your
Perth.
dad was here too.
He
Oh, I
was,
just
but
didn't
for
see him.
he was only here for 3 weeks, and then my sister and mum stayed for 6.
cool.
Dad had to go back for
Gorgeous.
work, but it was actually one of Dad's last nights in Perth, and Lisa was texting me again.
Yes.
So we went for dinner, and I think that's the night that I decided, like, no, I'm all in.
With
like,
your whole
yeah.
family there.
So then the day the trade went in, then my mum and sister were still in Australia, which was really nice. Yeah. So they came down, met everyone at the club, got a little tour. So yeah, I think it was really special just to have them here during that time, which was good because it was a bit stressful, but when it all went through, I knew I'd made the right decision. Yeah.
While we're just on, I guess, your football journey, I feel like we should just throw it back to the very beginning when you grew up playing Gaelic and then how your journey progressed from there. You had a message from the head of the cross-coder program to obviously then switch across to AFLW. So I guess I want to hear about your journey all the way from the beginning, if you can. Tell us.
No, I think we were really lucky in Ireland that we actually had football, and like there was that kind of adult teams already there. I think this year ladies Gaelic football in Ireland is like 50 years old. So I had those role models that I could look up to when I was younger, which I think I didn't realize how lucky that I was, especially when we come here to Australia and, you know, you girls, when you were little girls, you didn't have that to look up to. So it was like men footballers. So yeah, really lucky. And in that just played like loads of sports when I was younger. So the traditional Irish sports are Gaelic football and then camogie, which is the girl version of hurling.
I'm so glad you said that because I would have said that wrong.
Yeah.
I was like, it's
Kamaji.
there, and I was like, Kamaji?
That's the best thing ever. Yeah, right. So amazing.
Yeah,
That's
they
with
were
the
like
racket, hey?
Yeah,
The bat.
the hurleys that we have, do you know, in
like
the
a
change
stick.
room.
Yeah,
It's like
it's
a
like a stick
wooden
with-
stick.
Thing on the end.
Yeah.
I see you guys doing it sometimes.
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah. So they're kind of the two main ones, but like played soccer and things like that, but then had those pathways as well growing up. So play for your kind of local club and then you get invited into those like probably bigger teams, like so it would be Tipperary for me.
Yes.
Which then ends up being kind of that AFLW equivalent. So yeah, just made my pathway all the way up along. And then at adult level was like had a little bit of success in 2017, and then that's probably where the whole AFLW interest came from. Yeah.
No, amazing. And then so you played for Tipperary in Gaelic.
Yeah.
And then I know there's divisions as well. So what division were you in, and did you end up like, I guess, making it quite far in that space before then obviously considering AFLW, and then I suppose that's how you got scouted as well for AFLW?
Yeah, so Gaelic football is similar to kind of like soccer, the way it's run probably in the Premier League, like different divisions.
Yeah.
And we also play where we're from. So yeah, I play for Tipperary, can't really transfer anywhere else. So if you're going good or bad, that's like pride of where you're from and representing Tipperary. So we were in the intermediate division when I was growing up, which is Division 2. And we were very successful in that. So 2017 won the grand final.
Yes.
We got promoted and then unfortunately lost a couple of games at the senior level, which is the highest, by only a couple of points, and then got relegated again. So then won the grand final a second time in 2019. But the 2017 is probably where the interest came from. And in season 2 of AFLW, I think it was, Cora Staunton had made the move across the Giants and lit it up like with her goal scoring ability. I think that's where probably club like recruitment managers were a bit like, oh, maybe there's this part that we can explore to get some recruits in from a different sport, and Ireland being and Gaelic football being one of those sports. And I think that's what opened up the opportunities.
Amazing.
So, and then in 2018, you were part of that cross-coder program, and what says there's 18 of you that came. I don't know if that's all. I might have did different sports as well.
Yeah, I think there was
Gaelic
11
based.
Irish, maybe 9 or 10 Gaelic, and 1 or 2 Camogie girls. And then there was like a netball girl from Wales. There was a girl from Canada. There was soccer. There was a girl from Fiji.
Wow.
Yeah, it was cool.
So
yeah,
you came over and did like a week-long camp in
it was
Melbourne. What was that like?
Yeah, it was really cool. Like, to be honest, when I got the message about it all, I was on the way to a Gaelic match. So I saw the message and was like, oh, obviously I have to concentrate on my match. So parked that, screenshot it on the way home from the game, sent it to my parents, was like, oh, like, do you think this is legit, or, like just a random Instagram message. So then just followed like everything. It was just like sending on more footage. Did a bit of an interview process, obviously just to see what kind of person you are. And I probably passed that.
Yeah, stunning.
And then in August that year, got an email just saying that like you're invited out to this week-long trial, which was in September of 2018. It was actually the week of the grand final for the men's.
Oh, cool.
So we went to like a VFLW grand final in Marvel Stadium, saw that, and then obviously the build up to the AFL final, like the parade and things like that. And then for us, we were doing things like that you do at the combine testing, so like 2K time trial, agility tests, and that. And then we played like a pracky match, which I don't really know who the other girls were, but I think it was like a mash of like maybe Amos, VFL, whoever was probably coming together. So they were one team, and then it was like us 18 girls on the other. Hadn't a clue of the rules. Basically just like was taught how to kick and handball that week. A few rules about tackling and holding the ball and things like that. And then we just went out and we like smashed them.
I was going to say, how did the team go?
Yeah, we like smashed them. Yeah. And then on the back of that, like Yvonne Bonner, who ended up going to Giants and was at Adelaide last year, got signed, and Aish Constantine ended up going to Crows. But then there was no more rookie spots. So did a few interviews at different clubs, and then I went home to Ireland after that week and nominated for the draft. But it was all like, oh, we can't promise you anything. Like, So you
had no idea going in?
No idea. Had spoken to 2 clubs and was like, right, if I do get selected, this is probably where I'll go. But then another club Bulldogs, came and just like selected me, and I hadn't a clue. So
what were the other 2 clubs? That
North Melbourne and Melbourne. But I think...
Oh, well, thank God he didn't go there. Keep that on here too, because I don't care what they think. Wow. So that's so funny that you went in, I guess, with that idea of probably going to those other 2 clubs, and then randomly got selected by the Dogs.
Yeah.
How was that experience? And then how did you then meet everyone there, and when did you get flown over?
Yeah, so then because we hadn't really got things like working towards me going to the Dogs, I do think like Melbourne and North probably had more like, this will be your visa, this is where you potentially live. It was a bit like, oh shit, now we have to get you a visa, now we have to do this. So I missed another few weeks of pre-season getting all that sorted, and then I kind of landed in Melbourne at 22 years old. Wow. It was a bit of a whirlwind, but found my feet, lived in a host family, which was great, just to have that family vibe.
Yeah.
And then, just like tried to get to know the game, obviously meet everyone, build those connections. But like, to be honest, looking back, I just feel like I was so young. Now I feel like, I've matured a lot as a footballer and as a person. And I think when I look back at that, it was like a totally different time in my life. But I learned so much. Just being like thrown in the deep end with that one. Yeah.
And because we've spoken about this before, but you missed selection in round 1.
Yeah.
What did that feel like for you?
Yeah, that was really difficult. Yeah. I suppose I felt like I was training really well. And obviously when it comes to selection, it's difficult for everyone involved, players, coaches. And I probably did think that I put my best foot forward to get selected. So when I got the news that I wasn't, I was pretty upset. And at that time, my connections that I'd built were probably all my football connections. So my host family were heavily involved in like Bulldogs. Their daughter was involved in more the marketing and side of things. So they're big Doggies fans. So my household was football. Then I had my friends were my teammates. So I didn't really have anything outside of football. And I felt at that time that like everything just like crumbled. And I really questioned, like I could have been at home playing Gaelic.
Yeah.
What do people think externally? I was probably comparing myself to the other Irish girls. There was 4
playing
others at
probably
the time
at
that
the
all
time.
got selected as well. But to be honest, I think that when I look back and reflect, that it probably is the best thing that ever happened. I went as an emergency, learned a lot. It was a really tough game against Adelaide in Adelaide. And to be honest, I was probably going to be the person that might have been dropped if like they needed to change things up. So then I got in round 2 and
Well, that didn't have to wait too long. You got in there round 2.
Yeah.
And you kicked a goal in your first game.
Yes, that I didn't know whether it was a goal or not because
No.
well, the whistle went and I kind of had kicked the ball just probably was after the whistle. So I didn't know whether I'd given away a 50 or scored the goal. But it was a goal, yeah. So it was our free and I played on. So I technically robbed someone else's goal.
Oh, well, doesn't matter.
No, that's brilliant.
Whose goal did you steal?
I think I don't even know actually. Yeah.
No, that's
But it was a bit of a
Doesn't
delayed
matter.
celebration. Yeah.
No, that's so good. And then you obviously moved to WA in 2020. What was that? So obviously, like, how did that all come about? You'd been at the Dogs for a couple of years and then decided to make a move?
Yeah, was at the Dogs. 2020 was the year that everything got cancelled. So we actually played our last home and away game against Frio. And then everyone was just panicking. Like there was maybe 12 or so Irish girls in the competition at that time. And we had all a group chat and everything. Everyone was just like, we're not going to get home. We need to leave Australia. Like, yeah. So I think it was like a week later, got on a plane, went home. Kind of parked everything. Obviously the competition was stopped and I was straight into lockdown at home. So couldn't move 2K outside where I lived, had to just like be with my family and stuff like that. So kind of didn't really think about sport. But then as kind of the trade period, I think it was in August, but like a couple of months before that, Adam Selwood had reached out. And yeah, I think just I'd been to Perth and I was at Roddo and I just thought it was like a fabulous place to live as well.
It is.
So I'd seen that and obviously the beaches. But then I think the football as well and the vision of where West Coast wanted to go was something that really intrigued me, and I felt like I could probably add value to that, and they obviously saw value in me as a player. So I made the move across to WA, and I love life here in Perth, and I spent 4 years at West Coast then before coming here. Yeah.
Amazing.
And your boyfriend Danny is here as well. Did he move over?
No, so
Did you meet here?
I met him in Perth.
Yes.
So he's Irish from Donegal, and a couple of years ago met him here in Perth, which is
So
nice.
you were never leaving.
So now you're here.
Well, my nana always told me to never meet an Aussie boy because I mightn't come back. So at least now I have an Irish boy, and now
Perfect.
maybe we might go back to Ireland sometime.
No,
So,
I love that. I love that from Nana. That's the best thing ever. And then obviously we did talk about your transition from the Eagles to Freo now. So we're going to leave that where we talked about it prior. But I think wanting to go into, I know that we're going to talk about you being an Australian citizen, which I think is incredible because we have a few Irish girls obviously playing for our team now, and with the understanding that they have to work in our community department to maintain their visa. So is this true, and what's the criteria to become an Australian citizen?
Yes, I'm an Australian citizen, dual citizen, Irish, Aussie. So my mum was born in Melbourne. So my grandparents,
right.
After they got married, came on a boat to Australia from Ireland, which probably would have taken a couple of weeks, I'd say. Bit hectic.
Wow.
That sounds like the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I think
few
there
weeks
was
on a boat.
like these tickets like to go like new opportunities and things like that. So grandparents,
rogue.
I feel like Australia's like that. They were like, let's just get some new people in.
Yeah. I went to Melbourne, and then my 2 uncles that are older, my mum were born in Australia, and then mum, so the first 3 kids, there's 8 in total, were born here, and then they were here till about 3. My mum was like 3, and then they went back to Ireland. So Mum didn't have Irish or Australian passport, has always just had her Irish passport, has been to Australia a few times, just on like tourist visa. But then I was like, surely there's something, because I always used to have to get that sponsored visa as well. And it just meant like you're very tied into sport. If you do build a life here and things don't happen with sport, or you get injured or delisted, retire, you can't like stay here on that visa. You have to go home.
Is there a certain amount of years though before you can then apply for citizenship? That's what I want to know.
Oh, yeah. So I think Anya, for example, is trying to get like residency through hers. And then she's been here a few years. And then once she gets that approved, I think you have to have it for like a year or two and then get a citizen. But I basically got it through descent. So my mum.
Your mum.
Yeah. But then I actually got my Australian passport for my mum. So then it was a bit backwards. We just had to get her birth cert, and then so it's opened up a lot of opportunities, like working as a physio casually outside just makes me have a bit more of that balance that I probably didn't have when I was younger at Bulldogs. That I kind of have this life of my Irish friends, my partner, my work, and then football as well. So it means that if things aren't going well football wise, like you do have other outlets as well. Yeah.
No, that's incredible. And just on that, can you sing the Australian anthem?
Look at her eyes.
No, so just for, again, context on this one, we had Orla on the podcast last year, and prior to that podcast, we were in Melbourne, and it was the AFL Grand Final, and the boys are lining up, and the Australian anthem starts playing, and Orla is asking what the song was.
No, she goes, this song sounds familiar.
Yeah.
No, I'm not that bad. I know.
No, I'm sorry. That's horrendous.
I know it to hear it, but I wouldn't be able to sing it. But I do think if Anya goes for citizenship, she has to sing it at her ceremony.
Well, I think we probably will make her sing it regardless, because I think that's our own criteria.
I do have
some
footage of Ash actually singing though. I'll put it on.
Girl, she's been living in an uptown world. No, yeah, that's it.
No, I can't. Okay, sorry. So you can sing Uptown Girl, but you can't sing the bloody anthem.
Oh, God, don't put my one on.
You'll get my citizenship taken off me here.
Here's the thing. We started out friends.
You'll laugh though.
And I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath, then I get real high and I scream the top of my lungs, what's going on?
Well, you went for a long time.
Okay, well, none of us are going on The Voice anytime soon, thank God.
Thank God we just all got stitched up then.
Yeah, Braz, I'm not happy about that. I want to bring Mim back, actually. Mim, can you come back?
Mim would never do that.
But no, speaking of stitch up, we are going to move on to my segment called Dish with Driz. Pretty disappointed because I couldn't get in contact with your mum or sister because of the time difference in Ireland, but I have contacted your good mate Amy Mulholland, who also is a teammate of mine. And there's a few things, nothing too hectic, but we're only going to get better.
I have nothing on here, so I don't know. This could be rogue.
It could be. But just to start with, I just want to know how many times a week you wash your hair.
In general?
In general? What do you mean in general?
Probably after our main trainings.
So like how many times?
Is that 3, 4?
3, yeah, okay. Because Coburn's water bill has actually gone up by at least 400 because I noticed that you wash your hair every time you're here.
Mate, you Irish girls, all is the worst for it too.
I just wanted to bring that up because I'm like, I feel like you and Orla both wash your hair every training session here at Coburn. Miller,
you guys are very observant. Well, I have work.
No, do you know why? Because we're all waiting for the shower.
Well, at least I don't shave my legs.
I've written on here. I've written on here. It's worse that someone left their razor in the shower, and we all blamed Ebbs for shaving her legs. But who is it?
Who is it? I don't know. I feel like it's Tux.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
See, Pewee said, I'd shave my legs here sometimes. I'm like, why?
Do it in your own house.
Also, to be honest, I actually think shaving takes longer than washing your hair. So I'll let Ash Mac and Orla shave.
I feel like
can I just defend myself? So I work on a Wednesday morning and we main train on a Tuesday. If I shower here, when am I going to wash my hair before work on Wednesday?
See, she's
I'm not going to shower twice.
It wasn't a dig. It's all right.
No. It's all right, God. Don't get so defensive.
Okay,
don't get so defensive about it. No, but what
I'm
you
not
should
going to shower before dinner tonight.
Yeah, Ash is like, Driscoll's watching when I shower, so that's Sounds terrible. Actually, cut that out.
You just got to wait till the end. You just can't be first and wash your hair.
Nah, Ash,
That's
it's great.
inconsiderate to the rest of us that
No,
need shower.
I
Okay,
love
I'll
that
take
you-
the feedback.
But I love that you brought up the
Don't worry,
razor
we
thing
did this
because
with all
we've been questioning who's shaving in the shower. It's just not on. Anyways, next we've got you buy the West Australian newspaper after every game. And
Untrue.
No, it is true. Whatever I say is true. But it's actually really sweet. So I want you to tell the fans why you do that. NH.
No, this is because Amy was in the IGA with me the other day and she also bought the newspaper.
No, it's brilliant though. The reason you do it is amazing. So tell us.
Yeah, well, my parents obviously at home would have bought the newspaper, not me. So dad, since I was younger, has like scrapbooks of like every single
so
like
sweet. Pretty sure my
newspaper
dad does that too.
thing. Yeah, and it's like then mum and dad like obviously see things on the internet like the West, but they can't read it because they don't pay the paywall thing.
Yeah.
So when someone sent into the
But
group
also
chat,
I feel like
the
it's
Anya on the Juddy sent it in,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, I have to go get that.
Yeah, yeah.
So went and got it, and so my parents come over, I'll have it all cut out for them, but I don't do it for every game. But,
No, but I think the paper copies are always nice as well. Like it's the actual physical
I actually
copy.
do. I'd rate that. Now I'm
Yeah.
thinking, why don't I do that?
Mind you, I'd
Like,
be
that would be
Well,
a
your-
really cool
yeah.
thing to have. Yeah, my dad.
your
I'm
your
pretty sure my
parents
dad
probably
does
do.
that.
Yeah.
I think my mum's literally got cutouts of me coming last in shot put when I was 7 years old and nothing from football. So perfect. Thanks, mum and dad.
Do you know what's my favourite? When I go to my grandma's house down in Albany, because we've got lots of grandkids, but obviously I'm the only one that's in the paper like 24/7. So I'm everywhere on the like cork board. She got the cork board,
And there's no one
puts
else.
them all that, but no one else is in the paper. So
No.
it's all me, and
That's
I'm like,
sweet.
well, who's the favourite grandchild? She's also got our team photo on the back
That's
of the toilet
gorgeous.
door,
Gorgeous.
and that gets changed. Yeah,
There you go.
She gets a new one each year. It's so great.
No, so it wasn't even a stitch up. It was just a lovely story. But also, how much are the paper these days? Because I'd be sending them the tax receipt. Like, pay me back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
how
I
much
don't
do they
know.
actually cost?
$2?
Oh, maybe like 4 or 5.
4. See,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would not be $2.
that's stiff, mate.
Nothing's
$5 a
nothing's
week.
$2.
That's a coffee, mate. Like, you need to be sending them the bill. No, that's actually really sweet, Ash. Anyways, yes, Mullers did obviously bring that up. She's also just put in here your fave coffee, but it's like, I don't think it's to stitch up that you get an iced coffee. Most people actually drink iced coffee. So I think that's egg on your face, Mullers.
We actually went when we had lunch on Friday in Melbourne. We went for like coffee and lunch in Richmond, and they came out and they were like, "Okay, the cappuccino with cow's milk," and everyone.
I always
was
say that when
like-
I'm ordering my coffee.
But everyone was just like,
What do you mean?
"What do you mean?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
normal milk," because then there was like soy and
Because you can't say normal anymore. So I always say, yeah, latte, cow's milk, thanks.
Oh, I just say normal. Just the regular milk,
Well, I mean,
please.
cow's milk's kind of fun. Anyways, that's
You feel like you're included because you have to say the type of milk like everyone else has to say.
No, well, anyways, Mullers has then followed on with saying her personality. I
Wait,
can't.
What's that?
Super shy and quiet when she meets someone, and it isn't about footy chat. How's the statement from Mullers? I'm like, what do you want her to respond to this? Do you want to defend yourself
Is
there?
that a statement?
Yeah.
Question?
I think
Like,
it's a bit
I
of a
don't know
stab
whether
when it
that's
isn't about
a
footy, she
good or
says.
bad thing.
Is the
dunno.
question in the room with us?
I'd kind of agree. I don't. The footy chat thing, maybe not though.
Yeah, like I feel like you could still have a general chit chat conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I meet someone first, I'm probably a little bit, I'm introverted, shy. But when I get to know people, build that relationship, I'm fine. Yeah.
No,
Have
okay,
the
fair
Yeah,
enough.
that's most people, except
Yeah.
maybe old mate over here.
Extrovert.
Yeah.
True or false? When you kick a snag from the pocket, you then name it after yourself. I just hate that she's like so embarrassed.
Yeah, I'm so bad. No, it was just that training when it happened a couple of times in a row. I was like, Dash Max pocket.
Oh no,
When
that's,
did that happen?
No, I think
Where was
Anya.
I would have loved to have heard that.
Which
yeah.
pocket?
I think Anya said it first. I disagreed.
Good, I
just agreed.
That's the end of my segment.
I can take a breather now.
That was it.
Intense.
Would have been anything.
You go, H.
Oh, well, this is also new.
No, you can
it's from
read
the
it.
fans, but we're launching. This is another thing that's come from Better Down Back. You need to carry.
Okay, sorry. Okay, next week you're doing this part. Okay, so we have got the From the Fans segment now. So we're launching this brand new segment. It is for voice memos. Last year we had Mim's mailbag. Obviously we've cut Mim's, we've cut the mailbag. So basically fans were writing in last year. However, we have found that voice memos and actually hearing from the fans is a lot more personable, and I feel like it's a fun way to get involved. So we want all the fans to please use the link that is popped up on the Instagram or on the YouTube link for the podcast to send in voice memos to our media team so we can play them each week on the podcast. So today we have 2 because it was quite late notice, but next week we're expecting a lot more. And to kick things off, we will start with Nicola.
Hey Hales and O'Driscoll. What is your girls' pumped up playlist on game day? What gets you girls in the mood to roll and rock?
Love that.
Also, Hales.
Hales.
Nickname basis.
It's like we're best friends.
I'm just
Nicola.
O'Driscoll. What the
Love
fuck?
that.
Cut all this, Braz. I'm tired.
What's my ultimate part? I to be honest, it changes.
I want go-to song.
I'm just trying to tell you, I don't have one.
But like if you were to play anything, like if you like your favourite thing to listen to before a game, just anything. Like you don't have to listen to it each week, but it's like you'd be like, yes, love this.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. You go first.
Oh, I'm
Me
just
thinking
frothing Brat by Charlie XCX at the moment. Like, oh, I'm smashing it. Obviously love Guess with Billie Eilish in it. But I think 365, even though it's very inappropriate, I absolutely am loving it. So that's what I've been smashing at the moment. Ash?
I'm probably the same as Hayley. Like I'm a bit, just throw on a playlist. To be honest, when I was getting a bit anxious on Punt Road, I put on like Chill Moody Mix on Spotify.
Oh, I was like
that's
chilling out.
the greatest thing. When
I
you're-
needed to chill out a bit. I was just so nervous and like, when the bus wasn't moving, I was like, oh.
So you've gone a
She's ready to
Spotify
get out.
playlist.
She's going to get out and run to the game.
That is so funny. But like any song, even just one.
Yeah, I'm more like,
Are you a Swiftie?
not really. Yeah, I am. Like I listen to her, but like not
game day.
Yeah. I like some random like Imagine Dragons, like
Yeah.
On Top of the World. Like,
Stunning.
just like, a bit of Cranberries.
Oh, cranberries.
Good.
See, this is what we
That's
want.
good. That's good.
But
Love
I'm
it.
really random, like different like songs all the time.
Great. Love it.
No, I agree with that. Okay. The one that I will quite often will listen to, Green Day, and I don't normally listen to them.
I love that.
But Green Day's Holiday gets me pumped up. I'm pumped. I'm ready to go.
Now that's what the fans want. Green Day, can you play at our AFLW Grand Final?
Please. Yes,
No,
are they
that's
still
perfect.
together? I don't know.
No, that's brilliant. So anyways, that's first voice memo, guys. Next, we've got Ellie.
Hi, Hayley and Em. I'm so happy that the pod's back this year and can't wait to tune in again this year. My question is, what were you mostly proud of from the weekend, and what did you think of the new recruits over the weekend?
Do you want to take it?
Oh, I think we've kind of touched on it, but my favourite part was probably just the team effort and the fact that you just felt like everyone was playing their role and you just looked around and everyone was giving it a crack, and I feel like there were no passengers. Like we all knew what we were there to do, and that was to get the 4 points, and we knew we couldn't do it without each other. So I think that was really special, especially when you're on the road as well. So I think we'll just bring that energy into this weekend.
I agree with that. And then I haven't had that much fun playing
literally.
football in a long time. And I think it doesn't just come from,
Winning, like it just felt good.
It was just when, like you said, everyone's playing their role and doing their part. And it wasn't like, yes, Ash Mack was incredible, Anya was incredible, but out there it kind of just felt like, some will get on the end of it, but it's like there's so much work that goes into every goal that we get.
100%.
And it was just like, especially that last quarter, like that's where the celebrations come from. You can only do that when you when everyone's on the same page.
Definitely.
And everything's going really, really well. And that only comes from, playing as a team. So it was incredible. So much fun.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think as well, one that really stood out to me was when Braz did the smother on the mark. And I think it was the fourth quarter as well. And I think it was just like a domino effect. There was like smother after smother. And like at that stage, we were like so up that if we leaked a couple of goals, like we probably still would have got the result. But it just
But we
showed
didn't let
that,
it go.
yeah. And I just was like, whoa, like we're on, and like everyone was just like going till the very, very end, which is really nice.
No, I'll just second that quickly with Braz and I were also pretty stoked to stand in the wall and not have to do a lot. As defenders, it was quite nice because our mids and forwards, you guys, applied so much pressure. It was so incredible to watch. And it was also inspiring, so that when it did come in, I feel like we worked extra hard as well because we knew how hard you guys were working to actually try and keep possession as well. So it was chef's kiss. Can't even do that side because of the mic.
Team effort.
Yeah, it was
Fantastic.
amazing. No, but thank you, Ellie. And for everyone else out there, please send the voice memos in. We absolutely love hearing from you. It's incredible.
That was good. I love that. Even though it was only 2. I like
Oh,
that.
next week
That
we're
was
going to
so
get
much better.
20. That's going to be that good.
And did you notice everyone said my name first? So please continue. You did it. This weekend we have the Adelaide Crows. So they're coming over. So it's our first home game at Fremantle Oval, Sunday, 8th of September, 3:05 p.m. AWST Standard Time, as Huey and Driscoll would
forgot
say.
my
Oh,
name.
yeah, I forgot. I was like, who's the other one? You. Would say on there, what's it called? Game day with the ladies. I'm glad that that's back. Yeah, it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
But it'll be a good challenge.
You looking forward to it, Ash?
Yeah. I think just to come up against a team that have been so successful in the competition, it's going to be a real gauge of where we're at. And yeah, I'm just excited to see what we can do. Yeah. What about you guys?
I think first home game is bloody exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be huge. And we obviously want to get as many people there as we can. Yeah, it's going to be a huge game. And yeah, I think Adelaide always put their best foot forward no matter what. But we're obviously coming off a great win ourselves. And yeah, looking to sort of make a fortress at Freo.
Absolutely.
And we can do that if we have enough support around us. And the crowd, you certainly hear it, especially at Freo when you're so close to everything. Some great weather forecast.
Oh, thank goodness.
God, finally. We're starting to see a turn in the weather and yeah, heaps of food and entertainment and all sorts going on. So get down to Freo Oval on Sunday. It's going to be a show.
It is. Can't wait.
All right, is that it?
Yep, I think so.
You got anything else to add?
No,
Did you have fun?
I'm good.
yeah, it was fun. Except when I was put under the pump a bit.
There wasn't even anything bad. No, I'm so glad.
It was very good. All right, thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. And as always, do you have one? We'll leave you with a Driscoll to finish the podcast with a quote.
I don't.
You shouldn't have one.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I don't think I have one. No, I send some funny ones to Pewee, like one like this. I just want one day without a stomachache.